They say bodybuilding shows are won from the back. That goes to show how important a big back is in giving you an impressive V-tapered looking physique. Today we're going to show you how to build a big back that'll get you filling up your t-shirts in no time. Let's get into it. What is up, YouTube family? Welcome to the first episode of the anatomy series, where we're going to be looking at the skeletal muscles of the body, seeing how they work as far as bodybuilding is concerned, and determining the best way to exercise those muscles for growth. Today we're going to be looking at the back muscles, particularly the rhomboids, the traps, levator scapulae, the lats and the Teres muscles. The lats and the Teres muscles. Let's go ahead and start with the lats, as these are the biggest muscles of your back. Fun fact, latissimus dorsi actually translates to wide back, meaning this is the muscle that is going to give you that impressive back width. So the lats originate from the shoulder blade, the vertebrae, the ribs, and the hip bone, and they insert into a groove in the humerus, which is the bone of your upper arm. Given that muscles pull the point of insertion closer to the point of origin, the main function of this muscle is to pull the arm down from either a forward position, which is called arm extension, or to pull the arm down from a sideways position, which is called arm adduction, or to pull the arm inwards towards the body, which is called medial or internal rotation. With this in mind, the best way to exercise this muscle is to apply resistance to these three planes of motion. This can be done by exercises like pull-ups, lat pull-downs, straight arm lat pull-downs, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, and any other exercise that involves arm extension or adduction. Now, we found that for most people to achieve maximum lat activation, keeping the shoulder angle lower with your arm closer to your body is superior, as opposed to having a wider shoulder angle with your arms further to the sides, which most people are going to feel in their mid and upper back and also their Teres muscles. Although the Teres muscles share the same name and generally the same location, they actually originate from different parts of the shoulder blade and insert into different parts of the humerus, meaning these muscles perform different functions. The Teres major mostly performs the same functions as the lats. Think of them as the lats' little brother, assisting in shoulder adduction, extension, and internal rotation. So it's pretty obvious that the same exercises that you use to target the lats are also going to target the Teres major muscle, although we have found that keeping a wider grip with your arms further out to the side is actually going to target this muscle better. That means middle to wide grip lat pull downs, pull-ups, rows, and so on will tend to target this muscle more effectively. Onto the teres minor, which is actually a part of the rotator cuff, whose function is to externally rotate the arm. It also assists in adduction and extension of the arm, like the teres major and the lats. With that in mind, this muscle is activated by all the previously mentioned exercises, although it is worth adding face pulls
athletex.com
to take advantage of that external rotation. So the mid back is mostly responsible for that back thickness, and it consists of muscles like the traps and the rhomboids. Let's go ahead and begin with the rhomboids. So the rhomboids actually consist of two muscles, the rhomboid major and the rhomboid minor. These muscles lie underneath the traps and are responsible for pulling your shoulder blades closer to your vertebrae, elevating your shoulder blades, and also pulling the shoulder blades downwards by pulling the lower part of the shoulder blade closer to the vertebrae. So the general idea here is to incorporate exercises that involve pulling the shoulder blades closer to your vertebrae, closer to the midline of your back. Such exercises include barbell rows, dumbbell rows, face pulls, Australian pull-ups, and many other exercises that involve this movement. As mentioned earlier, we believe that the upper back in general is targeted better by using a wider shoulder angle with your arms further out to your sides. So be sure to use a wider grip or a wider plane of motion when performing the exercises. The rhomboids are also significantly active when doing exercises like the pull-ups or the lat pull-downs, as all three functions that are performed by this muscle are involved in the exercise to some extent, depending on a few variables that we will talk about in another video. However, we would recommend the exercises that we first mentioned in order to maximally activate the rhomboids. Moving on to the trapezius. This is a pretty large muscle that runs from your skull, your neck, through the middle of your back while extending to the shoulder blades and the collarbone, and runs all the way down to the lower back. Because this muscle inserts into different bones of the back, thus performing different functions, it is split into three parts: the upper traps, the mid traps, and the lower traps. The function of the upper traps is to elevate the shoulders, so applying resistance to this motion is the best way to activate and to grow this muscle. The most common exercise to achieve this is the shrug, and it is also the exercise that we would personally recommend. Just don't do them like that. The traps are also highly involved when doing deadlifts, so that's another exercise that you can include. The levator scapulae performs a similar function and also benefits from similar exercises, so we're not going to dwell much on that muscle as it is a rather small muscle and very few people know about it anyway. The mid traps are responsible for moving the shoulders upwards from a 90-degree angle all the way up to 180. They are also responsible for moving the shoulder blades closer to the vertebrae like the rhomboids. With that in mind, the best exercises for this part of the traps are similar to those of the rhomboids, as these muscles work together to produce similar movements. Additionally, the mid traps are also active while performing shoulder shrugs, as they become engaged once the shoulder is raised above 90 degrees. That means to get the best trap growth out of your shrugs, it's best to perform them using a full range of motion. That way, you can activate both the upper traps and the mid traps. Moving on to the lower traps, whose main function is to pull the shoulder blades down. Now, you will notice that the rhomboids also pull the shoulder blades down, meaning that both these muscles benefit from similar exercises, the ones that we mentioned earlier. So be sure to do the same exercises for the rhomboids, as these will also be activating the lower traps. As a general rule of thumb, as long as you incorporate exercises that include both the vertical and horizontal pulling, use both a narrow and a more wide angle while performing these exercises, and use a full range of motion, you should be able to maximally activate and work all the muscles of your back to enable you to build a big, thick, and wide back. Baby got back! Given other factors like nutrition, proximity to failure, and adequate recovery are properly incorporated. So a good back program would look something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the basic anatomy of your back muscles and some of the best exercises to grow these muscles. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the video to all your friends and family, and turn on post notifications so that you never miss a single video. If you have any information or any questions regarding the topic, please leave a comment below and we will do our best to respond to your comment. That is it for today, everyone. See you in the next video.